Happy Friday in the fantastic community of Holyoke, Massachusetts. A great place to be. The founding area of volleyball, which I just learned about. And they've got a great ball out there, volleyball with the Holyoke on there. I encourage everyone to visit there. Mayor, thank you so much. Where are you? Right there, the good-looking guy behind me. For hosting this event before Thanksgiving, giving thanks. When you sit around the table with your family, whether you like your family or not, everyone goes around and gives thanks for something. We're here today to give thanks for something very important, and that is the gift of life, the gift of organ donation, and registering, getting that heart on your driver's license. When you register as an organ donor at the fantastic RMV, this is identified, and we want to share some stories of the importance of registering, realizing that organ donation is very rare, and in sharing the stories of people who are alive today. My name is Matt Boger. I have the distinct honor of representing the federally designated nonprofit organ procurement organization, OPO, New England Donor Services. It is our job each and every day to help save and enhance lives through what I call the miracle of organ donation. We could not do this without the community support, without the national support of people stepping up and saying yes to organ donation. I want to thank the fantastic collaboration that we have with the state, both on Beacon Hill, but maybe even more importantly, at the local level, the RMVs, who do a wonderful job. They are required to do this, but they do it in a wonderful way of presenting that question. Would you like to register as an organ and tissue donor? The vast majority of the general public here in Massachusetts, 98% of all people who register, do so at the RMV. So if you see that heart on your license, that's because you registered as an organ donor. I do also want to indicate that organ donation is very, very rare. It does not happen often. In fact, only 3% of deaths have the potential to become an organ donor. So basically, it's about 4 out of 100 individuals have the opportunity to become an organ donor. There are 103,000 people today in the United States waiting for a life-saving transplant. Here in New England, that's over 6,000 people waiting for that life-giving call. We also want to indicate the miracle and the gift of those who do donate and that their loved ones are living on. Mayor, it's so good to see you. You look even better than you looked 4 years ago. I don't know if you're running or jogging, whatever. We were just reminiscing that this event was I
didn't look good 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I've got to step in something, so that's my step in. We were here right at the beginning of COVID when it was, I guess it was the first time that we were able to come out and speak in the general public. We were all wearing masks and very cautious of what we were doing, but you were very gracious of having this event being one of the first public events where the media came and shared the importance of healthcare and the importance of registering as an organ donor. Mayor, thank you so much for being a wonderful leader in Massachusetts and your city and saying a few words. Really appreciate that. Thanks, sir.
I gotta say, Matt, your energy is extremely contagious. Good job, and thank you. And I am actually I'm very proud to be one of those 98% of folks in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts who has a heart on my Massachusetts ID as a organ donor. I have here a proclamation, but before we read it, I can't believe it's only been 4 years since we kicked this off here locally. The city of Holyoke, I tell people all the time, we're an extremely compassionate city. We step outside the box and do what we can to look out for folks in the most human way possible and take care of our people, especially our most vulnerable. And so we continue to stand proudly in this effort. I have here a proclamation which I'll read out loud. Matt, do you mind? Or
that'd be great.
All right, we have here, whereas organ donation is a gift that embodies the very essence of compassion, hope, and humanity through the selfless decisions of organ donors and their families. Lives are not only saved, but they're transformed, creating ripples of healing that extend far beyond the recipients and themselves. And whereas one donor can save up to 8 lives and improve the quality of life for many more through tissue donation, beyond the immediate impact of recipients, organ donations bring comfort and purpose to donor families who find solace in knowing their loved one's legacy lives on through the lives they've touched. Their strength and generosity in the face of loss inspires us all and reminds us all of the power of giving in its purest form. And whereas 90% of all people in Massachusetts who register to become a donor do so at the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and Massachusetts seeks to surpass the goal by signing up to 50% of our driving population to register as donors as the registry or online at www.mass.gov/organ donor. And we as a state are dedicated to increasing that percentage and making it fast and easy to sign up to save a life through our Registry of Motor Vehicles. And whereas we also recognize the efforts of New England Donor Services and their tireless work as an organ procurement organization, along with medical professional transplant teams who make these life-saving actions possible. Their dedication ensures that the gift of life reaches those in need, fostering a future where more lives can be saved through the generosity of others. And now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Mayor Joshua A. Garcia, do hereby recognize organ donors, their families, and all who facilitate this life-changing gift. Their actions are beacons of hope, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity, and a reminder that through giving, we can create a lasting legacy of life. In witness hereof, I will sign right now. This is an official signing ceremony. I'll give you the pen.
Can I get a pen? Yeah.
There it is. Here's our proclamation. Thank you, everybody. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. Here's the pen.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Here's one right back at you. There we go. This is a good pen, though. I think I upgraded.
It is.
Mayor, thank you so much for those wonderful comments. A few follow-ups. Your comment that this is a very caring and supportive community, I felt that right away when I came in here. 4 staff stopped and said hello to me. Someone helped me with the parking there. You're leading, and the staff here are here to support this wonderful event. You're leading a really great staff. So thank you so much. It is, you can, I can read people who pretend. No one's pretending here. It's a very caring community. The other thing is, thank you so much for recognizing us as New England Donor Services, the federally designated organ procurement organization. Just want to be clear of who we are. We are the ones who are helping to save lives and working with hospitals to make sure that if someone has passed away, which again, the hospitals are one that declare death. The OPO is not the one who declares death. There's an opportunity for someone else to live, but also for someone's legacy to continue on. We have a staff of over 400 individuals. We are the Minute Men and Minute Women of yesteryear. We're on call 27 hours a day. I'm fully aware there's only 24 hours a day. We've got staff who work 3-day shifts. We have nurses. We have transplant doctors. We have people who are much smarter and better looking than I am, doing amazing work. So we're so blessed to be recognized and thought as of the gift of life. That's our motto, donate life. We don't want anyone to pass away, period, exclamation mark. Someone else dying to save someone else's life is a zero-sum game. That being said, if someone sadly passes away, and we have an aftercare team of 9 fantastic, they happen to be women, but fantastic individuals who work with those families who've lost loved ones and miss them each and every day, but realize they gave the gift of life to up to 8 individuals. And that is something that you can take pride in. And that is something that is extremely humbling. I know a lot of people take great pride in what they do and say, I work to help people. We work to truly help save lives, and it's very humbling. So thank you so much for your wonderful comments. The next individual, I've been happy to know for many years, and before she was wonderfully elected, Gosh, how many years have you been in?
This is my third term.
Third term,
so,
okay. Well,
yeah.
you just aged me a lot, because I remember when you were a staffer at the State House. But
better today.
she looks better. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. She does look better. She does look better. Very good. I'll bring up pictures. Pat, thank you so much for your wonderful work, or representative, in your wonderful work at the State House. You're always so kind when we're up there, and when we do events here, you're always there with such positivity. So if you could say a few words, that's great.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, I'm Pat Duffy. I'm the state rep for the 5th Hampden District, which is the city of Holyoke, and a couple precincts in Chicopee, too. This is some of my favorite collaborations because it's this wonderful nonprofit, and it's also the state agencies that we work to support, the Department of Public Health and the Registry of Motor Vehicles. So just the generosity that is embodied in this program, the incredible work that people are doing. I have known Matt, what was it, 8 years ago? When you first came to City Hall? Yeah. And then he's always the same. I see him in Boston, I see him here. It's an incredible individual. I have proclamations as well, thanking New England Donor Services, the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and the Department of Public Health, bringing congratulations from the Great and General Court of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So thank you all so much for everything you do. Thanks.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate that. And the wonderful leadership you have at the State House is really amazing. You've got wonderful elected officials in both realms. It is a good team, and I'm going to call up another member of that team in a second. I do want to take a comment that you said, the collaboration with us as the nonprofit organ procurement organization as identified by Congress, but also the collaboration that we need to have with state agencies, with the legislature, with the governor, who we've met with several times and is a registered organ donor, with specifically the RMV, who does a wonderful job each and every day, and with the Department of Public Health. DPH, I think, is a great agency. It's a little bit of a ridiculous agency because public health is everything. That is from mosquito bites to organ donation to COVID to literally everything. And their focus and support of this life-saving effort is amazing. Additionally, we have the best transplant hospitals in the universe. You come to Boston for a lot of things. One of the major ones is healthcare, and we do a great job with that. But I do want to thank Jay, who's been with me to a lot of these events, the assistant registrar of the RMV, and his wonderful staff in Springfield. Jay, if you could come up and say a few words, that'd be great. Thanks. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Matt, thank you for your hospitality. State partners, thank you so much. We can't do this without your collaboration. I'm glad to be joined by Susan LaFleche, who is our Springfield Service Center manager, who is, Matt, I think you'll agree, probably the most bought in when it comes to organ donation. They always having celebrations in the team, and of course, my friend and district manager Bobby Robert. So at the registry, we're so proud of this relationship. It's our way of being able to give back to the community and help save a life, which is so important, especially as we enter into the season of giving. One thing that we ask is the most important question. Do you want to be an organ or tissue donor? Personally, for me, this is a personal situation. Matt and I have talked about a year and a half ago, we lost my brother-in-law suddenly. And when we were walking into my mother-in-law's house, she was on the phone with New England Donor Services because my brother-in-law is a donor and he was donating some of his, I believe it was his cornea. So my family and I say that now someone else gets to see life through my brother-in-law's eyes. Driving in today, Matt, I got a phone call from a friend of mine. I work with in my other capacity, and she was talking about her day. She said, "What are you doing?" I told her I was here. She goes, "You know, my first husband had a longer life because of an organ donor." So it's amazing how many lives that we touch. So it's an honor to be here. And Mayor, thank you for your hospitality, and thank you all. And remember, when you go to the registry, it's just a yes on that application saying you want to be a donor. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, you taking your turkey. I gotcha. Jay, thank you so much for your wonderful work, both here at the RMV and what you do in your own wonderful community. In your comment that once you mention organ donation, someone has been personally touched or know of someone, either has been a recipient or a donor. So thank you so much for doing that. Again, we don't want anyone to pass away, but there is an opportunity to help save lives, and that registration is great. I do want 98% of people who register do so at the RMV. Unfortunately, in Massachusetts, we're lagging behind the national rates. Only 47% of people in Massachusetts are registered as organ donors. That's a decline, which we've seen both in this area and nationally. We want to make sure people understand that registering is the idea of hope, that you are more likely to need a transplant than to become an organ donor. It is very, very rare. To become an organ donor, you need to pass away in a controlled setting, aka a hospital. If you pass away outside of a hospital, you will not be assessed as an organ donor. I do want to bring up our next great partner, Department of Public Health. I do want to indicate two things real quickly beforehand. They've been wonderful. There is an opportunity to donate some funds via the state agency, and with that, there's an easy way, as the mayor said. You can register at mass.gov/organ donor. So even if you don't have to go into the RMV, which again, Springfield is such a delightful place. I go out there and hang out. I know that the RMV may not want people to go in there just chill out, but it's a wonderful staff. You can do it right now online at mass.gov/organ donor. It's a great, easy, accessible way. The other thing is Massachusetts Department of Public Health has done a great job with campaigns. One of the campaigns that we've unleashed, if you don't mind just stepping one side here, is we were working on the language here, and what I want to put is, no matter what language you speak, thank you for registering as an organ donor. Working with the state, we found some of the top languages, and again, this is a project that is a collaboration between the Department of Public Health, the RMV, and us, the New England Donor Services, educating everyone and embracing everyone, no matter who you are, what you look like, male, female, purple, green, whatever it is. We want you to register as an organ and tissue donor. In the inside, we all may look different from the outside. In the inside, we have the same areas, and a man can donate to a woman can donate to a man, African American can donate to a white person. It is really humanity at its best. But I should stop talking. And Kate, thank you so much for being here and the wonderful work you do at DPH. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your presence here, and particularly thank you, Mayor, thank you, Representative, for being here and supporting all these efforts, and with our colleagues from the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and then obviously, most importantly, our partnership that we have with New England Donor Services. We've covered a lot about the donor work that goes on, and the department works tirelessly to advocate for the increase of life-saving donations, and also collaboratively with our healthcare providers, our hospitals, our physicians, our nurses, to be able to have the highest level of transplant care in all parts of the state, including here in Holyoke and with partners in Springfield as well. One of the things that Matt was just alluding to is the support that many individuals in Massachusetts give to one of our organ, tissue, and donor registration funds. And through that fund, and with coordination through NEDS, last year we were able to support 33 individuals who received organ donations but needed support in being able to pay for things that might not be covered for their health care, whether that's medications or transportation to and from visits afterwards. So we certainly also appreciate everybody's support there to be able to help people after they've received a donation and may still have costs that need to be covered. We also have another role at the Department of Public Health. We're the state agency for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and so we continue to work to be able to increase the transplant capacity here in Massachusetts. And so earlier this year, we worked with our colleagues, our federal colleagues, to be able to have two of our hospitals in Massachusetts add liver and heart transplant capacity, so that we continue to make sure whenever organs become available that we have the capacity in our hospitals to be able to make sure those are able to be transplanted into the many people that we have on waiting lists across the Commonwealth. And then as Matt said too, We work to be able to support advertising campaigns. So you saw the wonderful posters that we have here. We also have billboards out across the state, so definitely take a look. And it wouldn't be possible without our support from the Registry of Motor Vehicles and all they do to be able to get people registered as donors. So in this time of Thanksgiving, we just, again, want to say thank you for all the work everyone here in Holyoke does, and certainly across the state in order to be able to increase donation. Thanks.
Kate, thank you so much. You know how busy you are as your role as Director of Health Care, Strategy, and Planning, and thrilled you're here and to mention all those things. We want to support people as much as possible. Thank you, and DPH through you to the Commissioner. Appreciate that. We also want to thank the legislature once again, and the State Senator Velis has been super supportive. Even more so, we've been doing events throughout this area for quite a while, and Mark, his district director, has always come up and has been very supportive, and then shared with me a specific story. So, Mark, thank you so much for being here in your capacity as District Director for the State Senator and saying a few words. Appreciate that.
Good morning. As Matt mentioned, Mark Messer, District Director for Senator Velis. You know, this is interesting coming here because I'm here in, my work capacity, but also here in a very, personal capacity as well. So I received the gift of life via kidney donation back in April. Prior to that, I'd been on dialysis for about 3 years, going from work to the dialysis clinic and kind of rinse and repeat. So I think, the fact that we're doing this as a lead up to Thanksgiving is really important, to give thanks to all the folks involved. So if I put my, Senate hat on, right now, I'd like to say, thank you to the RMV, thank you to DPH, New England Donor Services, and the mayor for continuing to host these types of events and bring awareness. Hopefully, folks, as you're, gathered around the turkey next week, after you get done watching football, talking about politics, whatever it is, maybe have a conversation about becoming a organ donor, or at least when you go to the RMV to renew your license or get your license, take a little bit more time to think about what it means to be an organ donor. So on a more personal note, just a few things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that I do in fact look better than I did 6 months ago when I got my kidney transplant. I'm thankful, for the energy I have now, even though it still pales in comparison to Matt's energy. Just thankful for the little things, being able to take my dog out for a walk. Thankful for being able to eat potatoes next week, during Thanksgiving. As a kidney patient, while you're on dialysis, you need to watch your potassium, and potatoes are really a no-go. So I'm going to have an extra helping next week. So, again, just want to say thanks, on behalf of Senator Velis. He's still away, but I'd be at this event regardless. Anytime these come up on the calendar, I say I'm going to that because this is a subject matter I, feel deeply about. And then thanks on a personal note. And, I do have citations from the Senate here that maybe we can take a photo with later, but they're a bit wordy, and I think my time's run up. So thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much. You're an inspiration. It is one of those things that if you were to see you today, you would never know that you went through a transplant. You look fantastic. As I have to say, everyone looks better than they did 5 years ago. But that's an all-around thing. But it's wonderful because I had seen you when you were on the waiting list, and it is great. Do have the organ donation conversation at Thanksgiving before the political one, actually. So it doesn't. That would be great. But speaking of family, and again, we're here to give thanks during Thanksgiving. So like this messaging of what you're thankful for the opportunity that we have great doctors, thankful for the opportunity of life, thankful for the opportunity of cool thing, the heart on your license is great. But the cool thing of family as well. and I think, Mark, I met you before I met Mike. And I think there was some event, I was like, oh, do you know Mark? And he's like, yeah, no, I know him. But Mike is a passionate individual and so excited that he's been a long volunteer and a great advocate for organ donation. Mike, thank you so much for being here as well. Maybe you can mention your last name here to make this connection.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. I'm Mike Messer. Mark's my son. Very proud of him. We've been associated with New England Donor Services for maybe 20 years. I have 2 sons that have had transplants. I also have a sister that was a donor. So we've been very involved in this community. We are extremely thankful for the work that everyone in this organization does. Day after day, year after year. I'm tremendously grateful to the volunteers, the staff, the medical people, the RMV, everyone that makes this happen. I can tell you 2 things. When Mark was on dialysis, I felt really so much compassion for all the people that are going through that every day. People are suffering, and they really are just hopeful that their number is going to come up, that they're going to get a transplant or whatever they need. And the wait is kind of crazy. As Matt said, there's 100,000 people on the list. That should be cut down significantly if we all do our part to get the word out about this. And the only other thing I'll say is I will never forget and have never experienced anything like getting that call in the middle of the night, say, it's time to go. We've got a match. Totally changed our whole family life. It's just incredible. So thank you to everyone. Thank you.
So Mark and Mike, a little confusing, so I called one another. Again, if you guys could have different first letters would be great, but both wonderful speakers and both caring individuals. And I do want to mention that, the call, there are people who, organ donation is very rare, and sadly people do pass away. In fact, the waiting lists for the majority of the organs are years. And sadly, people do pass away daily. 18 people die each day waiting for a life-saving transplant. And the hope of the heart and the realization that organ donation is so rare, we do encourage people to get the heart on your license. We have another individual who is a glorious double lung recipient, Elizabeth, who's been to a couple of events with us and is here to share her story as well. Elizabeth, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
It's an honor to be in such wonderful company. I'm very grateful. And grateful is the word, I guess. And 2 years ago, I was the lucky recipient of a double lung transplant. And my lungs had gotten scarred very badly from breast cancer treatment. The radiation and the chemo had scarred my lungs. So I was on oxygen for 24/7 for about 7 years, just carting it around. And it profoundly impacted my quality of life. I'm a very active person. I love to do outdoor things. And 6 months after my transplant, I was out snowshoeing. And I just raised my pulse to the sky and I thanked my donor. And I just want to say that 2 years ago was my first Thanksgiving without oxygen in a very long time. And we have a tradition of going up to Maine to visit my brother with my family. He lives up there. And we had a toast, a family toast, to both my donor and just a toast of gratitude. And this is now my second Thanksgiving, and we're going back up next week to my brother's and going to have another toast, a cheerful toast. But I want to say that not just on Thanksgiving for me. Thanksgiving is a wonderful time to be grateful and give thanks and reflect on what you're grateful for, but I do that every day. And every day I am so grateful to be able to take every breath that I am taking. Without oxygen and without assistance. I couldn't walk to the bathroom before my transplant. It was like not even 10 yards away. So every morning I take my bottled water and I have a toast to my donor while I'm taking my medications, and I just say thank you. And Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, it's just a daily thing for me. And it's made such a profound, organ donation has made such a profound impact in my life that I have my life back. I have a second chance. I was literally homebound, and now I'm out talking to you and breathing the same air as everybody else, riding my bike. So I just want to say how grateful I am and what a profound difference organ donation can make in someone's life, especially as it's made in mine. Thank you.
I have seen that picture of her raising her poles up in the snow. If you're going up to Maine, I think they've got a ton of snow. And I'm not going to say, because when you snowshoe, you got to come back. That's a lot of work. But Elizabeth, thank you so much. We're here to celebrate life and the wonderful lives that these people share. Elizabeth made this great comment. Every day they're thinking about their donor. Again, it's not about death. It's about the continuation of life. Or when organ donation happens, it's not because someone was not going to pass away. Again, the hospitals are the ones who declare death, and that person sadly would have passed away with an outcome that was not life-saving. This is a great opportunity to help save someone else's life. I like to call him the David Ortiz. He's my cleanup hitter. He's been to a couple events, and I don't think in the summer months he has a car that is rivaled by Batman, the organ donation car. We won't get into that because I want him to focus on his recipient here as his comments here too. But Glenn, thank you so much you're a known commodity in this area. We've been to this event in Springfield every City Hall, but you always do such a great job. Thanks. And you look better than you did.
Thank you, Matt. Well, it's an honor to be here in this Thanksgiving season, to be able to give thanks to my donation in general. I was sitting here and I always listen to the speakers before and see what I can relate to and then speak to it. So one of the things that came out of the mayor's proclamation was solace. So the first time that I ever met a donor family, I was buying a trailer for my car. So my car always comes into the conversation. And someone came out, I had Donate Life New England on the car, and they came out and they said, "Oh, I'm going to support your cause on my website." And he was taking pictures and everything else, and I'm thinking about spending the money on the trailer, so things just aren't clicking. And I decided to buy the trailer, and I walked in, and this young man called me into his office, and he told me, he says, "Yes, I have a connection to donation. My sister was a donor 28 days ago." And I'll never forget when he said those words. It was the first person I ever met that was on the other side of donation. I'm a liver recipient. And instantly in my mind, I thought that, they were going to be angry. And the next words out of his mouth, that lasted like 1 second, not even a second. The next words out of his mouth were, "It gave my family so much comfort and solace to know that my sister didn't die in vain, that she could help people." So it's a miracle of life. I've been very lucky. Last Friday, a week ago, was my 10th anniversary of my liver transplant. And the reason for my liver transplant was liver cancer. I had talked to my oncologist, and they said I wouldn't have had 2 years without it. So here's my 8th bonus year that I get to stand here and talk to people. But organ donation, New England Donor Services, in that same conversation, this just popped into my mind, that young man told me how much comfort that New England Donor Services gave their family and how kind they were to help them through that process. So on this Thanksgiving, I will be giving thanks, but it's a great idea. No politics at the Thanksgiving table. Discuss organ donation. I had a donor family actually tell me the number one thing that they wanted was for people to talk about organ donation, no matter what your decision was. And hopefully it will be to sign up to be an organ donor. Thank you all very much.
Glenn, thank you. You always hit the nail right on the banana, the head. Thank you so much for spending the time to do this. And again, the idea of what Thanksgiving is and giving thanks. Giving thanks for life is pretty darn powerful. So think about registering as an organ donor. This is a voluntary choice. You can say yes, or you don't have to check that yes box at the RMV. That being said, it's not a neutral choice. Both the state and federal government strongly supports organ donation and provides it on a state document that's seen by literally everyone who comes into a place to want an ID, a real ID, or a permit. Yes, no, I'm forgetting one. ID, real ID, learner's permit, something. Yeah, all of them. Just a quick, how many people have a license or ID? We're hitting 100%. We're hitting 100%. We also take pride, and we're the only public health question and the only important question that, not the only important question, the only significant, a great question on the RMV application, and it's truly giving. So thanks so much. We do have individuals who've been personally touched, and there's so many stories. We could be here for hours sharing these wonderful stories. But Mayor, in a celebration the Friday before Thanksgiving, I think it's next Thursday, probably don't have those political conversations, but do have the organ donation question. As Glenn said, we do want people to talk about it and realize the importance of it, realize the rarity of it, and realize the gifts of what people are doing with that magnificent gift. So before I end, I do want to say, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? It does if there's someone here to capture it. So I really thank the media for being here to celebrate this great event. I think the positivity and honestly love in this room is great. How we communicate that to the general public and share what people can do. There's a lot of public health areas where they're like, what can I do? We stand alone in all other public health issues in two different ways. A is we're not looking for a cure. We know what that cure is, and that is registering. And B, when we talk about a donation, we're not talking about a financial donation, although we are a nonprofit. We're talking about registering as an organ donor, and those are two significant things. So coming up to the holiday season, if you want to give a gift, give the gift of registering as an organ donor either at the RMV or online at mass.gov/organ donor. But Mayor, I think we've all spoken a lot. You're welcome to say a few more words, and you look even better than you did 5 minutes ago. So, I mean, it's one of those things, bring the joke back around. I really stepped in that. But thank you, everyone, for being here.